My name is Frank Fay, and I'm also known as Osborne Tremaine on YouTube. I'm basically an accountant living in Maine, and I'm also a car collector, collecting antique automobiles as well as old video. So basically, over the last 25 or 30 years, I've been working in the pharmaceutical industry as well as the aquaculture industry, and I've been on board of directors. I've been on the board of directors of a publicly held British corporation on the stock exchange, as well as small private companies in Maine with 6 employees. I was an employee of Chrysler Corporation and found this video machine and film projector and a whole bunch of antique film, and they were throwing it in the trash, and I thought, you can't throw this away. It's history. This is valuable. You know, someone needs to see this. So I just collected film, and I put it in a box and I kept it. And then with the change in technology, when YouTube came along, it's like, wow, you know, maybe I can upload this stuff and maybe people might be interested in it. And that hobby of just collecting turned into something different. A lot of times people don't understand when you see a film production or photography in a magazine, the photographer or the videographer or the producer or director or the film company will copyright that material, and it belongs to them and they have the rights to it. But marketing and advertising is different. A majority of it is not copyrighted, it's public domain. This has given me an ability to upload a lot of material on my channel that people have never seen before. But I take the film, I will put it into HD format on specialized equipment that I have to pay somebody to do. And you end up getting a film that's 50 years old in better quality, and it's still public domain material, but I've taken something and I've improved it, and then I've put it on the internet and I've shared it with people who, if they've ever seen it before, they're seeing it better than they ever saw it before. And because the quality is so good, very often the auto manufacturers will come back to me and ask me if they can license the work that they originally created themselves, which doesn't seem to make sense, but they're paying me money to use material that somebody in their business created 50 years ago, but it was lost and thrown away and discarded. I for years wanted an Avanti, and what happened was, it was 1987 or 1988, and I went to the JFK Museum in Boston, Massachusetts. The Studebaker Drivers Club was having an event there, and there was a gold Avanti, a 1963 Avanti, and even the color that I like. I was oohing and eyeing over the car, and it needed some work, but it was still a cool car. The guy who was there with it said, his name was George Bonney. He said, well, why didn't you buy it? I have it for sale. And I was only like 27 years old at the time, and I thought, I can't afford a car like this. I'd love to get this, but I can't afford it. And he goes, what do you mean you can't afford it? And I go, well, it's too much money. You have to get I can't come up with that type of cash. And he said, well, just get a bank loan. And I said, yeah, well, what company is going to give me a bank loan on an antique car? He says, look, I work for Bay Bank, which later became part of Bank of America. He said, I can get you a car loan. So I said, okay, if you can get me a car loan, I'll buy the car. And I've owned that Studebaker Avanti since then, 1987. I've taken it to 13 different countries. I've driven it all through Europe. Full restoration, full-blown restoration, nut and bolt frame off. And I think it has the distinction of being the fastest Avanti in the world. Now, the Avanti is known for being the fastest production car ever made. It held that record from 1963 up until the early 70s, at least in the United States. But my Avanti is the fastest, has traveled faster than any other Avanti in the world because it's flown on a 747 and gone 500 miles an hour in an airplane. And I still have it today. I'll probably be the last car I ever have. I can't imagine ever selling it.